What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video we're gonna be talking about my crash. So you see I got some wheels here, not the wheels you want to have, but you know what, boys, it's been 6 days. I'm done with them damn wheels. I don't need them no more. We're walking and a talking and a doing everything just fine. We gotta wear hey dudes, but the old feet, they're back in action. We're going to talk more about the crash, what happened, how it happened, what happened to me. Coming up in today's video. Stay with us, guys. Here we go. Alright, so 6 days ago, about this time of day, it was 4:30 in the afternoon. The track closed at 5. We were there making test passes on the Hyperbusa and Melania, okay? The goal was to make Melania go crazy fast back into the 5s again. And the goal with the Hyperbusa was really just to make a couple easy passes. We're going with Suzuki for Hayabusa Homecoming to Pomona, California in 3-4 weeks. So we were just going to go make some easy passes with the Hyperbusa, get some decent data with it. We just wanted to go and make a good showing, not do nothing crazy. And what happened? Something crazy, boys. Something real crazy. It was like 4:35 in the afternoon. They're like, all right, guys, you're closing at 5 o'clock. Prepare to make your last runs. So I'm like, country, I'm going to go hop on the Hyperbusa. I'm going to go make a pass. Let's go, and then maybe I can make another one right before 5 o'clock because this bike don't really have to cool down much, and I'm going to run Melania one more pass, and we're going to full send it. Well, that last pass never came, boys. So the bike leaves, takes off nice and easy, like a 135, 60 foot, smooth. Everything is going along perfectly fine. Keep in mind, this is the 5th pass of the day with this bike. I go into 4th gear, the bike is pulling. I don't even have no boost in the bike, like 18 pounds of boost. So literally we're just riding along. I go through the finish line, 192 miles per hour, and instantly, you've seen in the videos, boom, the fairings explode. So me as a rider, I remember, you know, full tug, watching for the finish line. I know it's about time to let off. Literally, soon as I cross through the finish line, boom, I see the right side fairing come off and fly up. And as soon as I see the fairing fly up, boom, the front end full tucks. In other words, the handlebars cock as hard as they'll go to the right, and it slammed me. Boom! Instantly, man down. 192 miles per hour is what I went. Went a 756 at 192 miles per hour. You know, this bike has been 206. So, like, we were on easy street. These are supposed to be easy passes. But that shows you just how quick things can change. Like me, I'm not even thinking nothing about this bike. I'm like, this is so easy. This pass is almost boring. It's not toting a tire. It's not doing nothing. Next thing you know, I'm like, thank God I'm still alive. So, what happened and why? And then we're going to talk about the safety gear that I was wearing, what damages are done to me, and what is going to be the future of the Hyperbusa. So, as you can see, the bike, let's talk about the damages. Now, I have not done not one thing to this thing since we got it back home, besides take it out of the trailer and push it inside. So these are the ram air tubes. They're all ground down. Pretty much this right side and my right side took a serious beating. The frame, she's ground down pretty good. The HTP billet clutch cover And the dump pipe is really what helped save a lot of this thing. It kept it all intact pretty good. The bike actually was still running. It's not good. It's not what we wanted. It's not supposed to be running when it falls over. The tip over sensor did not work. As you can see, the damages on the bike, really not that bad. So like the frame, yeah, of course that sucks. Clutch cover, you know, some of the engine covers, the exhaust pipe, but you see our foot peg brackets still intact. Literally, it just broke the actual peg off. The swing arm, there's not a scratch on it anywhere. Only a little bit of grinding right here on the peg, no broken peg bracket. Got a little bit of road rash there. The carbon fiber seat still in good condition. The tail lights, all that stuff still in good condition. The gas tank, not one scratch or dent anywhere. How this happened, I have no idea. Handlebars, not bent. Actually, yeah, this one's borderline. It could be bent. But either way, not broken. The clutch lever, or brake lever, I'm sorry. Just the tip is broke off of it. The front fairing and windshield is skin up, but the headlight, there's not one nick or scratch on it anywhere. Our BST carbon fiber wheels, I have spun them around. There is not one scratch anywhere. Our front fender broken off, and you can see, look here too, one thing guys, it ain't like I didn't put screws in it. All this stuff still there. Every screw on the bike, this was there, of course, it got ground down, but all the screws for the fairings, every one of them are still in the bike. So, what caused these fairings to come off? I don't know, but here is my theory. So, if you've been following along since the build of this bike and the gray bike have both gone left. So when you get going down the track at high speeds, this thing starts going left no matter what. I've tried cocking the wheel, I've tried adjusting the chain, I've tried doing this, I've tried doing that. We made different wheel spacers for the rear. The gray bike has a stock swing arm, this bike has a DME swing arm. No matter what, the only thing in common they both have is they both got turbo kits. They both have holes cut in the fairing around this air filter to let, of course, the air filter get air. And they both have holes in the fairings for the exhaust pipe, which come out in the same area. My theory is air was going in one of those holes, coming in and not going back out, meaning the air was getting trapped in the bike. Aerodynamically, the wind was taking it that way. In other words, if you roll down the window of your car, stick your arm out, I mean, technically it ain't gonna make your car go that way, but if you do it on your motorcycle, it will make your motorcycle go that way. So we were dragging a parachute somewhere. Where? I'm not exactly sure. My guess is it was probably going in around this air filter and not being able to come out, or maybe it was on the exhaust side. I don't know. My thought is it was going in on this side, and it may have been going over to the other side and getting trapped. In other words, creating turbulence. I don't know. I'm not a aerodynamic engineer. I just know I'm kind of messed up from aerodynamics. Long story short, the right side fairing, boom, blew off. Left side fairing, all the bolts are still there. Look, right here, that was a screw that held on the fairing. I mean, there's screws everywhere that are still there that held on the fairings. Every single bolt was in my bike. Not one thing on this motorcycle was rigged or a shortcut was made with it. Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. Country, you want to tell them about your part of the story? What happened?
Well, like you said, I was down at the end of the track, just made a pass before him. And I always sit down there and I listen to see if he's making a good pass. Basically with Melania, the Hyperbusa, as much as we've done this, I can pretty much hear from the other end of the track if it spins, if he has to get out of it, anything like that. So I hear him coming, I hear it's a clean pass. I'm like, oh, okay, good pass. Well, at the end of the pass, I hear I immediately know exactly what that is. Lean my bike up against a pole, run out there to the return road. Keep in mind, I'm a quarter mile away from the finish line. And as I'm about to the track, here comes the Hyperbusa sliding past me without Chris. So instantly, really my heart's already failed just from hearing the noise, because I know it's a crash. I knew it was 99% sure that it was Chris. And when I see the Hyperbusa, I definitely know. So when I make the turn around the track, Chris is already on his feet. Obviously his momentum and everything, I think he kind of just rolled up back onto his feet. So immediately I see, you know, he's alive. That's the main thing. Cut up, broken, whatever, anything's okay as long as he's alive. So I see he's alive. So then he's a quarter mile away from me, standing up. I tend to the bike, get the bike cut off so it doesn't destroy the engine, and proceed to try and run the quarter mile to see if he's all right. But like I said, guys, in my video, main thing, he's okay now. The bike, we can fix it. You can't replace him. So luckily he's scraped up, he's bruised up, he's not feeling the best, but he's definitely a lot better than he was 3 or 4 days ago.
For sure. I'm not going to say the recovery process has been going crazy fast, but it has been going crazy fast. The night we got home from the hospital, I could not walk. That's why we got the old wheelchair there. I called my other brother. I said, yo, I need, you know, anybody that's got a wheelchair. He brought me the wheelchair, delivered it to my house before I even got home, helped me out, because literally my feet were like double the size of normal. Just from being bruised, the flailing and stuff that went on as I slid/tumbled from 200 miles per hour was very, very bad for my feet. So let's talk about the gear that I had on. I have always worn and will continue to always wear Bates leathers. This company right here, they are in California and they make the best leather suits that you can buy, guys. So this stuff is very thin. Keep in mind there is no padding. Now that's the way I ordered it. They'll build suits however you want. They actually built me a brand new suit probably 3 months ago that I had built to ride the Hyperbusa in NHRA, because this suit is not legal due to not having padding, which was hanging in the trailer that day. And had I had that suit on, I probably wouldn't have any road rash right now, but I was preserving that suit. Why, I have no idea. Anyways, nothing to do about that. It is what it is. This is the suit we had on, and look at how well it held up from 192 miles per hour. Now, keep in mind, I fell on the right side, and this is the side that went down. You can see here, this is on the back side of the jacket. This is just where she had all she could stand. It literally burned through the leather. It's still connected down here at the cuff, but this right here, it just burnt through and ripped the stitching. Over here on the other side where it zips up was all still good. And then on the back side of the jacket, it held up like a champ. We got one little hole right here on the stitching there. I've also got that little scratch to go along with that. And then the pants, look at these things. You can see my butt took a lot of heat, and it has ripped away here at the stitching where the thing was dragging, I guess you would say, back, and you can see as the suit come apart, this is almost like crispy, guys, where it got so hot it burnt through. And this is where I have a lot of damage in this area. I guess you would say the hip/butt. It hurts. So I can only imagine what it would be like if I had a lesser quality suit or a cheap suit on, because it would be, or I would be chewed up big time. Now, let's talk about the gloves. The gloves, Bates Leathers does not make. Vanson Leathers makes this, which is also another top-notch leather company. But I had these things on, and I got multiple pairs of these as well. And I will continue to wear these and wear them happily, because these gloves went down at 200 miles per hour, or 192 miles an hour. Look at my hands. So those hands right there, they're not scratched. Those hands, those are blood blisters. Okay, you see more blood blisters there. My fingernails, you can see a little bit of color there, a little color there, and hopefully the phone's picking this up. But they got blood blisters, and for a couple days, every fingernail I had hurt like I smashed my fingers. You can see all the knuckles on this hand. They're swollen, they're getting better. Got a little bit of road rash on this finger, which I don't even see why. You know, there's no holes, but like I said, that's where it went through a little bit. But the gloves held up extremely well. Now this right here, this is crispy. Like, I don't even know if you could hear it, but like it's crunchy. Part of it's because it's probably saturated in blood, and two, that's how hot it got. But this right here, I got a nice little hole right there in my wrist. You could see all the way down to the ligament and to the bone the day of. So definitely very gruesome, definitely very bad. But thank you. I mean, look at this. The Vanson Leather emblem ground completely off. It used to say Vanson Leathers there. You can't even tell. Big Country, he wears these gloves as well. Very, very good stuff and very important. Now let's talk about another thing, the old noggin. Bell Race Star. Take a look at this thing. Now, before we look at the helmet, I had zero headache, zero blurriness, zero anything wrong with my head. The only thing wrong with my head, I got a little scratch right here. That's from the microphone in the helmet, which was not plugged in. I did not have the onboard camera on this bike, just because I wasn't planning on really making a video with it. I wasn't planning on any kind of special pass that day. Was not mic'd up. The microphone was in the helmet, and as the helmet smashed my face, the microphone poked in, cut me a little bit right there. And then the strap, this right in here is swollen. It's kind of hard to tell, but this part is fat and puffy still a little bit, just from the strap of the helmet that was holding on. Now let's look at this thing. This was an all carbon fiber Bell Race Star, and you can see she took a lot of beating. Look at that, cracked all the way. I mean, this ain't just a beauty mark here, guys. That is a full-blown crack in the carbon fiber, and you can see just how much it ground down. I mean, it literally has like ground a flat spot in it there, as well as on this backside here. But this thing is destroyed, and my head felt perfect. So God was looking after me for sure, as well as the Bell Race Star helmet. The boots, also made by Bates Leathers. Look at the boots, boys. Look at the sliding and stuff these things went through. It pulled like the nails out of the boots, where it was pulling them apart as it slid down the track. You can see the nails are starting to surface. Now, these boots weren't new and super pretty before today, but I mean, like I said, they definitely were nothing like that. Now look at this one, the right side, completely cooked, along with my foot, which we'll talk about in a second. But you can see the sliding and the action this thing got. Now, how it slid on the inside like that, I don't know, but I do got a nice little boo-boo there. Lots of nice little boo-boos here, and a boo-boo in my toe right there. But the biggest thing, the reason I couldn't walk, is because my feet were swollen to the max, like just the flailing and flopping. So I started out just sliding, then it went to tossing and turning and flopping, And honestly, I can remember, like, I swear it seemed like the crash lasted 5 minutes. Like, I thought I was never going to stop. I was yelling. I wasn't yelling any kind of words or anything. I was literally just like, ah, you know, because it was hurting bad instantly. And on top of that, all I could think about going through my head was, please don't hit the wall because I know I would die. And every time I would flop and I would roll around, I was like, fuck, I'm still sliding. I'm still going. I'm still rolling. For one, thank goodness. And two, please stop. So towards the end, I could feel myself trying to get up because I was thinking, dude, if I could just get to my feet, I won't roll no more. Now, looking back, I'm like, well, what kind of fucking idiot thinks you're going to stand up going rolling down the hill? But even though there's no hill. Either way, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to stop. I know the professionals, oh, you're just supposed to tuck and slide. Let me tell you, that stuff don't go through your head when you're sliding from that fast. It was rough, boys. The bike itself, we gonna fix it. So, first thing happened, I called DME Racing. And I said, yo, Demi, I need a frame for this bike. They make a chromoly race frame for this thing. And I said, I want that frame. And he's like, well, we never have done one with a stock seating position. In other words, a lot of the race bikes, like let's just say Country's bike, he doesn't have the factory seat was back here, okay? And then DME, they cut it, and then they make this other little thing so you sit down like in a cradle. Well, I don't want that with this bike because I want it to look original, but I'm like, man, it would be so cool if I had that chromoly frame. Well, then we get to talking and I'm telling them the story about how the VIN number is 0002 on this thing and how our friends at Suzuki still have 0001 and number 3 that they kept for themselves because this is a 25th anniversary. Long story short, I was like, man, I'm really sad to lose my frame, you know, because this bike was special to me. So Demi's like, you know, dude, he's like, I'll fix that frame. I will make that frame where you or nobody else would ever be able to look at it and tell that any damage has been done. So as far as I know right now, we're going to pull the motor out here in the next week. We're going to send the frame to DME Racing, and they are going to cosmetically repair and make sure that everything is safe and sound and straight with the frame. Now, the bike in general, I want it to look original. In other words, I want it to look like a 25th anniversary Hyperbusa. So the orange, she's definitely staying orange, boys. And then I'm going to reach out to our friends at Moto Composites, and we're going to get some carbon fiber fairings for the back. I'll order all OEM stickers to put back on it. So it'll be carbon fiber and orange. And I really don't think it's going to be that much different. So I'm going to get with HTP Racing. We're going to try to make another dump pipe. I may get this one made out of titanium, so it will be blue. I think that would look cool. And then, of course, we definitely got to get that logo redone and remade. And then check the bike out, because we're going to check it thoroughly when we take it apart, but we got to make sure the engine's good. We'll probably take the engine back apart, even though it's brand new, just to make sure that nothing happened while it's down, while it's apart. But I really want my baby back just like it was, boys. I didn't want any extra upgrades. I had this bike exactly the way I wanted it. That's the way we're going to put it back. We're going to have a little bit more carbon fiber, but for the most part, I'm okay. The bike's going to be okay. We're not really worried about the bike, and I was sad the day it happened. But I was like, you know what, dude, I'm alive. And after about 3 days later, I'm like, shit, I'm not even really that hurt. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't nothing, dude. Guys, if you're going to play with these things, if you're going to go crazy fast, I play on the road a little bit every once in a while here and there, but the racetrack is so much safer. I went down at 192 miles an hour. Here I am 5 days later. You know, my little feet is back working. Everything in my life is fairly normal other than some scrapes and bruises. If I was to have hit a car at 70 miles per hour head on, it's game over. So you guys got to be careful out there. And I know that I go out there and do stupid stuff, and you guys comment every single time, you look like an idiot, you got no gear on. And I do. So we're going to definitely try to be better with that, because trust me, I wish you want all the gear you can have. But either way, it's not the speed that kills. It's the sudden stop at the end that will get you every time. Take a second, let that analyze, think about what that means. I slid from 192 miles per hour, and really I didn't even get hurt. Had I been running 60 and hit a car head on, could have got killed. So, could have got killed sliding from 200, but either way, you see what I'm talking about. Your chances are much better. Country, anything else you want to add?
I missed it, but it sounded like you probably went over it for the guys that ride on the street and stuff, man. It's about probably 0% chance you survive that crash on the street.
You definitely ain't going 192. I'm not going to say never, because anybody can get lucky just the way I did. But your chances are much more slim.
Track's controlled environment. There's no ditches, culvert pipes, trees, cars, people, deer, any of that stuff to change your path there. So
yeah. So I've been racing at the drag strip 25 years now. I've seen about 3 or 4 accidents that led to death at the racetrack in 25 years. There's no way any of you can say the same for the stats on the street of just people you know. If you've been into riding long, like I said, take it to the racetrack, wear your gear, be as safe as can. Thank you for watching today's video. I know it's just a lot of blabbering, but man, you guys have called, you've emailed, you've commented. What happened? What happened? What are you going to do with the bike? I just wanted to make this video, basically just blabbering, updating you on what happened. Big Country, he's been working hard on his bike. We'll talk about one more good thing before we get done with this crying video. And Big Country has finished up, or is finishing up, his turbocharged GSXR 1000 auction bike, which has a stock motor which just made massive horsepower. If you haven't seen the video, go check out his channel.
It's impressive, dude.
It's very impressive, and see the results. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Thank you for all the support. If you got any ideas on what happened to the bike, your theories, let us know in the comments below, because I'm curious to hear. We're just guessing on what happened. All I can say is thank goodness I'm here. All right, boys. See you next time.